Let's talk about a feeling that so many of us experience, but, well, we just don't really talk about it. It's this kind of silent internal friction you might be feeling now that you're over 60. A sense that you care deeply, but something inside you is pulling back. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, and you've been wondering what on earth it means, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, does that hit home? You want to lean into something new, a new friendship, a project, maybe even a family issue, but it feels like you're hitting this invisible wall. It's confusing, right? And it can feel pretty isolating. You might even be asking yourself if you're becoming, cold or something. But what if that feeling isn't a flaw? What if it's actually a superpower just starting to come online?
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at that hidden friction, then dive into the brain's amazing protective system that's actually causing it. From there, we'll see how to reframe that feeling from fear into what we'll call sovereignty. Then we get practical with a simple protocol you can use, and we'll wrap up by embracing the incredible wisdom of discernment that only comes with a life fully lived. Okay, let's start with that feeling itself. You know the one, it often shows up with a big old side of guilt. You see a situation you know you could help, or there's a person you could connect with, but you pause, you hesitate. And that hesitation can really mess with your head. It's that voice in your head, isn't it? Why am I not just jumping in like I used to? Or have I lost my heart? And look, those are totally normal questions, especially since most of us have spent a lifetime being told to say yes, to lean in, to be the one who fixes things. But here's the thing, the very premise of those questions is wrong. This isn't about what you're losing, it's about what your brain is gaining. I really want this to sink in. That emergency brake you feel, that is not a hardening of your heart. It's actually an incredibly sophisticated neurological system kicking into high gear. Your brain, after decades of experience, has become a master at managing resources. It is now actively and brilliantly protecting its most precious assets, your time, your peace, and your emotional energy. And you know, this isn't just some nice-sounding idea. It's actually backed by some fascinating science. So let's look at two key concepts that explain exactly what is going on inside your head and why this shift isn't just natural, but it's actually really, really good for you. So first up, there's this thing we can call the Metabolic Guard. Basically, your brain is now keenly aware that the emotional cost of recovery is just higher than it used to be. I mean, you've lived through enough emotional roller coasters to know that bouncing back from drama or disappointment, it just takes more out of you now. So your brain is intelligently conserving energy, making sure you don't spend it all on high-drama, low-reward situations. It's brilliant.
And the second piece of this puzzle is something called Socioemotional Selectivity Theory. It's a well-known psychological shift. As we get older, our priorities just naturally move away from having a huge circle of acquaintances and towards really deep, emotionally meaningful connections. You could say it's a conscious pivot from quantity to quality. So your social world isn't shrinking, it's being curated.
So what does this look like in real life? Well, your brain is now actively working to prevent relational burnout. It's running these incredible risk audits on new people and new commitments, basically asking, is this worth the fuel? It also starts clearing out all the negative static, which psychologists call the positivity effect. And maybe my favorite part, it's protecting your narrative integrity. You've spent a lifetime building your story, and you're just not auditioning for a part in someone else's drama anymore.
So you see, you are not withdrawing from the world. You are practicing emotional essentialism. You're saving your energy for what truly lights you up, for the connections and causes that give back as much as they take. That hesitation you feel, think of it like a security guard at the gate of your heart, making sure only the very best get through.
Okay, so understanding the science is one thing, but really living it is something else entirely. This next part is all about making a fundamental shift in how you see all of this. Moving from that place of guilt and fear and stepping into a position of real empowerment and choice. Just look at the difference here. On the left, that's the old way. Feeling like a guilty observer, always driven by what you should do, and constantly at risk of emotional overdraft. But on the right, that's the new paradigm. You become a sovereign steward of your own life. You're driven by careful audits of where your energy goes, and you seek relationships built on reciprocal fuel. It's not about being distant, it's about being discerning.
So think of it like this. That feeling of holding back is not a bug, it's a feature. It is your mind's brand new, finely tuned quality control filter, and it's designed specifically to protect and even enhance the vibrancy of your life. Every time you feel that little pause, that's your inner wisdom just asking for a moment to check things out before you commit your precious resources.
And this isn't just talk. It matters on a physical level. Your cognitive health, your physical well-being, they're directly tied to your emotional load. When you consistently overinvest in people or projects that just drain you, you trigger these chronic spikes of the stress hormone, cortisol. And over time, that can actually speed up the aging of your brain. By becoming a sovereign steward, you are actively lowering that stress and preserving your health.
I love this metaphor. For way too long, you might have treated your emotional energy like it was a public park, open to anyone who wandered by. It's time to reclaim it as a sanctuary, a sacred space where only truth, respect, and real connection are welcome.
All right, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually put this new way of thinking into practice? Well, we've got a framework for that. It's called the High-Resonancy Protocol, a set of really empowering tools to protect your emotional safety. These are your new rules of engagement. They're super simple. First, the 72-hour observation window. When a new request comes your way, don't give an immediate yes. Give yourself 3 days. This lets your wisdom catch up with your initial impulse to please. Second, the energy exchange audit. Just ask yourself honestly, does this thing, this person, give me fuel or does it only take it? And third, the micro-investment test. Give just a tiny bit, say 5% of your energy or trust, and just watch. See how it's handled. Is it respected? Then maybe you can invest a little more.
And maybe the most important tool of all is this one right here. You have to actively, intentionally build a wall around a portion of your energy that is just for you. And this is not your leftover energy, okay? This is a primary allocation. You set it aside first.
A great way to think about it is like a financial portfolio. 70%, that's for your intentional, audited investments, your family, your true friends, your meaningful work. But that 30%, that's your sacred reserve. It is non-negotiable. It's for your joy, your hobbies, your rest, your peace. And that reserve is what fuels everything else.
As you start to do this, you're going to notice another shift. You'll stop seeing this whole process as some kind of limitation, and you'll start seeing it for what it really is, a sign of advanced human maturity and just profound self-respect.
And we have to address this because it's a really common fear. Let me be clear, you are not losing your spark. You are not becoming less passionate or less engaged with life. Not at all. In fact, the exact opposite is happening.
You are refining the flame. You're turning what was once maybe a wide, flickering fire into a focused, high-intensity beam. You're directing your light and your warmth where it's actually going to have the most meaningful impact, instead of trying to light up the whole world and burning yourself out.
Think about it. You are now a master of discernment. Your whole life has been a training ground for this exact moment. You have spent decades learning to tell the difference between the frequency of truth and authenticity and all that distracting static of drama and superficial stuff. Trust that expertise. You have absolutely earned it.
So, the next time you feel that hesitation, that defensive pause, don't fight it. Don't question it. Honor it. Listen to it. Because that is the wisest part of you, standing guard to make sure that your peace becomes a permanent state of being, not just some temporary visitor.
We've covered a lot of ground here, haven't we? From brain science to practical tools. So let's bring it all home with one final, powerful idea and a super simple challenge for you. If you take away only one thing, let it be this. Your care, your time, your emotional investment, it is a prize. It is not a participation trophy that you just hand out to everyone who shows up. It is valuable, it is potent, and it should only be awarded to those who have shown that they understand its incredible worth. Okay, here's your challenge, and I promise it's an easy one. Sometime in the next day, just find one instance where you feel that familiar guilt for holding back. And in that exact moment, I want you to consciously reframe it. Tell yourself, I am not being hesitant, I'm conducting a strategic audit. Give yourself full permission to stay on that observation deck for as long as you need.
Just think about it for a second. What comes to mind? Is there a relationship that feels a little one-sided? A commitment that drains you more than it fills you up? A family dynamic that just leaves you feeling exhausted? Whatever just popped into your head, that's your starting point. That is where you begin to practice your sovereignty.
So remember, that hesitation you feel isn't a flaw. It's a brilliant security feature. And the easiest way to start practicing this today is with that 72-hour observation window. Just try it.
Because being selective is the ultimate act of self-respect, and it allows you to invest your powerful heart where it will truly, truly flourish. So audit the investment, protect the fuel, and go lead your life with the sovereignty that you have so deeply earned.